Good evening, and welcome to the Robinson Report. My name is William Robinson, OHS class of 2010, and current graduate student at the Bush School of Government and Public Service at Texas A&M University, where I'm currently pursuing a master's degree in international relations. Joining me this evening is Brice Robinson, AP Government Scholar at Oswego High School in Oswego, Illinois. Brice, how are you this evening?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you again for joining me. First off, I'd like to discuss themes of American government and politics. Seeing as you're an expert, can you please provide me some clarity?
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Excellent.
And I am indeed an expert. I spent a whole year in Mr. Pullman's AP government class, and I suppose I can shine a light on your dim-witted knowledge of the themes of United States government.
First off, something that really interested me are civil liberties. They've been discussed a lot lately, and I want you to provide some insight if you can. First off, what are civil liberties, and can you please give me some examples?
Civil liberties can be best described as your personal guaranteed freedoms that the government cannot infringe on. Examples of these freedoms are all from the First Amendment, which guarantees you freedom of speech, press, religion, and freedom of peaceful assembly, which seems to have been lost lately in riots around the U.S. These are all protected by the First Amendment of the Constitution of our great country.
Very well said. An answer provided a lot of insight. Moving on to the next question, what is federalism?
Federalism in the United States is a separation of powers between the national government and the 50 states in this country. It keeps the United States strong across the thousands of miles of the land that this country owns, because the states help govern parts of this country that the national government cannot always oversee.
What are some examples of these powers?
The national government can declare war, create and maintain armed forces, establish foreign policy, regulate foreign trade, establish postal offices, and coin money. The power that's given to the states is used to establish local governments, establish and maintain schools, like the Great Oswego High School, and regulate trade within states. Also, it can conduct elections and provide for public safety. There are also concurring powers that are reserved for both. Both have the powers to raise taxes, borrow money, build roads, and more.
Shifting gears here, how do you think public opinion affects our nation? And how do you think we can measure public opinion effectively?
Public opinion expresses how us average citizens feel about decisions of our government. Most public opinions are found from polls, but it can easily be taken from the web now because of the easy and cheap ways of social media and other informational hubs. Political participation is pitiful anyways, so it's hard to get a good number of politically efficient people to take these polls.
This is some very troubling information. What do you think is wrong with the political participation today? Why is it so low?
On a personal level, I feel like people always have something to complain about on the news, on Twitter, and in person. In reality, these people are complaining for no reason, because they're doing nothing about it. Political efficacy is very low, and most people have no clue what they're talking about. It starts by understanding our government and understanding the pros and cons of everything the government does. People are very apathetic, and it shows in the polls. Voting is at record lows, which means that people aren't taking advantage of the opportunity to change things. 40% of people eligible to vote do not. It saddens me to see people act so helpless when they can really make an impact on the government if they set their heart to it. Most just vote depending on their parents' party preference anyways, which many take in as their own once they can vote. It's pitiful that people can't create their own opinions based on their own values.
That's very interesting. One area of interest to me is political parties. As you know, I'm a registered conservative from the great state of Texas. Can you please tell me more about the political party system in the United States?
Well, the United States has a two-party system made of Democrats and Republicans. Democrats are leftist and Republicans are rightist on the political spectrum. That means the Democrats tend to be more liberal, while Republicans tend to be more conservative.
How do interest groups affect our government?
Interest groups affect the government in a variety of ways. They donate money to campaigns and help swing votes to the candidate that is quote-unquote helping them. For example, the NRA, National Rifle Association, contributed $984,000 in 2014 just to campaigns of nominees who help defend their Second Amendment right. They go great lengths to help keep their right to bear arms.
Moving forward once again, how do campaigns get candidates elected, and how do they keep them elected throughout the political process?
Campaigns help greatly in the United States to publicize a candidate's name, ideas, and in some examples, expose their opponent's wrongdoings. It is a positive and negative thing in many cases, and they suck up millions of dollars to try to prove their point. Moving on, I'd like to focus on Congress, specifically the role of Congress in international relations, as that is your area of interest.
Absolutely, go ahead.
As you know, the President and the Congress share power. However, there's no constitutional power provided to the President that Congress does not share in some way. Therefore, while the President initiates and can veto legislation, Congress is often a major constraint on the exercises of presidential power. Going back to my first point, Congress is made up of two houses. The upper house has 100 representatives based on equal representation from every state, and is named the Senate. The lower house has 435 members, depending on the population of every state, and is named the House of Representatives. Overall, the Congress in international affairs has been more active on domestic policies and less obstructionist in areas of foreign policy since World War II. However, the Congress has returned to their obstructionist tendencies in recent months because of the tensions in Iran. Since we have a Democratic president and a Republican Congress, that also adds to even more tension. The president wants to essentially just get a deal over with, while the majority of Congress doesn't think that the deal is in the best interest of the United States. Speaking more of the president's international role, he can respond to foreign events, propose legislation, negotiate international agreements, and make statements based on the policies of our government. The president, in general, is referred to as the most powerful man in the world. The people of the U.S. vote on him, and every state he wins in the majority of the votes in, he gets that state's electoral college votes. Some states have more value in the electoral college than others. For example, California has 55 votes, while Idaho only has 4. The candidate with the most electoral college votes at the end of the race wins.
That's very intriguing. Thank you again for your input. I have one last question, and that regards the Supreme Court.
Sure thing. The Supreme Court is the highest federal court in the United States. It is made up of 9 judges who serve lifetime terms. This term helps eliminate corruption and helps the judges get down to business because they don't have to worry about re-election. The judges are nominated by the President and approved by the Senate.
Thank you again. That will conclude our coverage today on the Robinson Report. We certainly hope that you can join us again.
No problem. I love sharing my information I learned in Mr. Pullman's AP Government class with you. Thank you. Have a great day.